All right, welcome to slide 13, chapter 4. We're going to do a chapter, this little slide's verify full system functionality and, if applicable, implement preventive measures. What does that mean to us? This is the stage where we think we've solved the problem. We want to now kind of check that things are working. Like we think we've solved the internet problem. Let's go open up a browser and see if we can get to the sites. Make sure that we're really on the internet and it's not a cached page. Ever hear of a cached page? Right? Make sure that we're actually really on the internet and that it has a good connection. So you kind of verify in full. Make sure the programs run, like whatever if a user at a company, make sure that their most commonly used programs work. Let's say, hey, check whatever you use most, see if you can fire it up or it works. And then you want to, if you can, if applicable, so if you can, or if it makes sense, implement preventive measures. We talked about that. If it was like a power bar that they flicked the switch on with their feet, well, you might want to now move that, right? Let's say it was an Ethernet cord that fell out because the clip was broken. Right? What would you do there, Elijah?
If
The clip on the Ethernet cord is broken. What would you do? And so it slipped out. What? Throw it in the trash and get another one. There you go. That'll work. Okay. So let's read this. After the repairs to the computer have been completed, continue the troubleshooting process by verifying full system functionality. That's what we talked about. Make sure things are working. And implementing the preventive measures needed, like changing the cord or moving the power surge so they can't step on it. Verifying full system functionality confirms that you have solved the original problem fully and ensures that you have not created another problem. Very important, right? You went in, you started tinkering around. You solved the internet problem, but you busted something else. Now they can't print because you accidentally, in your fervor to fix it, you unplugged the USB cord and you didn't realize it, right? For the printer, and now the printer don't work, or you accidentally unplugged the printer. So now that same user is going to call you in like a couple hours saying that they can't print. And that's going to that's going to take up man hours on his time, right? You've not created another problem while repairing the computer. Whenever possible, have the customer verify the solution and system functionality. So that's why I said have them check, hey, what do you normally use here? Do you still have access to your printers? If their printers are networked and it was a network problem, let's make sure they can still print. Make sure they can still back in the day, before we started using like the cloud computing, that people would have like a drive on their computer that was somewhere on the network, and check that they have access to those network drives still. Okay, step 5. That's where we would be on now in the troubleshooting process. Verify full system functionality, which they talk about here, and if applicable, implement preventative measures. So you see when reading this that things are kind of redundant. That's okay. So to do that, we could reboot the computer. So make sure you fixed it, but then what happens when you reboot the computer will still be fixed, because eventually you're going to reboot it, so you might want to do that. So you reboot it, ensure multiple applications work properly. Check their browser, check that they can print, check any company-specific programs that they use. There's a program we use at the school district here. It's a really old one. You would want to make sure that runs. I'll show you on these computers when we load them. Verify network and internet connections. Print a document. We actually talked about that, right? To make sure that the user is still connected to the printer so you don't get called back. Ensure all attached devices work properly. Keyboard, mouse, anything else they have on there. Sound. Ensure no error messages are received. I don't usually go through all that, but you kind of get good at it after a while. You kind of know what you touched and didn't touch. But that's more of when you get experience. Okay, so that was slide 13. See you on the flippity flip.